No spreading the cheeks? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Ooh, that hurts. Woo, every time. That'll wake your ass up. Everybody, get ready. It's now time for Victor Allen's New Sports. That's right, written and directed by Victor Allen. His own unique fan's perspective on today's sports. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the man that the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. Here he is, in the flesh. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Vic. Yeah! Victor! Sports! Yeah!
You know, they will never have a show, probably, for the most part, where they have to reference somebody in some metaphoric way like Sexual Chocolate. They're not going to do that on regular TV. You do know
it's coming.
It's going against the grain. You know that,
right? It's coming. The Sexual Chocolate, these types of references are becoming more and more understandable in today's world. When I say Sexual Chocolate, everybody understands now.
That's why they have no hope.
They say it's coming.
It's no hope.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
First of all, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Let me go on to the sports, you guys. I'm going to try to keep it quick and simple. I've listened to some people. They say, just get right to it. I'm going to do this because I know you can't stand it.
Was that any women or men?
No.
Was it mixed gender? Were they all of one gender?
It's always the men that go like, we know where you're going.
Yeah.
And the women want to go like this, make equality.
See, there you go. So we're going to go with them.
We're not doing either one.
So, brothers,
all right.
Sorry.
That's it. But let me say this. When L.A. is out of the mix, first you must recognize game. And so far, Seattle Seahawks have got the crown in football.
Mm-hmm.
In basketball, of course, the San Antonio Spurs. But we must not forget the Kings of Hockey, L.A. 2 championships in 3 years.
Yeah!
Make that puck move.
Move that puck.
Now, if it wasn't for this show, I would be downtown. Join the parade.
That's right, because it is the big parade.
It is the parade right happening as we speak, I believe.
Man.
So I have to give it up because La La still rolls, you guys. Now, I'm going to do this because I know there's a hate LA atmosphere anyway. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm humbling down to represent those who say, well, come to LA. But if we don't have basketball, we got hockey. And it looks like we're going to have a team for a little while. So I just want to sit back and say, holler. So let me give you my pictured moment of what a big-ass cup looks like when you win. When you win, you hold the cup. That's a big cup.
That's to hold your big cojones.
Right. That's it.
Big cup for the big scrotum.
Now, I know. That's not the kind of.
I'm just saying, but this is the way you feel when you hoist the cup.
No, I know how you
feel. That testosterone rush.
No, I got something better, but I'm afraid to get to it, but I'm going to say this. You had to defeat a team, and the team that they defeated was the New York Rangers.
Oh, Lord.
So they've won in 5. Now, let me tell you something else before we even go there. You can keep rolling, Mario. Isn't it ironic that both championships, hockey and basketball, ended in 5 games? Oh, my goodness. Let me say this. The situation with the Kings, they were not expected to win. They weren't expected at the beginning of the season, during the middle of the season, going on in. Then they turned on the Jets. So I don't have to give you guys the story. They won with speed. They got talent, and they're going to be here for a little while. So, it looks like if they get another opportunity next year, they may be considered a small dynasty. And that's for L.A. markets that don't really have a history with hockey.
Well, and according to the Mario Hemsley rules of support, I am allowed to root for you for up to 2 championships.
That's right.
And then I bail.
Right. Yeah, you bail. You out. Bandwagon.
It's too much winning. Not good for
bandwagon.
Lose.
So I want you to know how fortunate Mario is. He lives in a land where he says, if we win that much, I get to sit back and choose to lose. That is called really, really.
Well, I don't say I choose. I move to the other upcoming teams. I look to the underdog.
If you were in Cleveland, would you feel that way?
Yeah, right now you would feel it. You'd be hoping I would come root for Cleveland. And maybe you'll make that list next year.
Okay.
Yeah, Cleveland. Isn't Cleveland trying to get some support?
Hey, look, Cleveland is not operating under the umbrella that they have all the components and the philosophy of winning when you have basketball as a consideration because they've had number 1 picks, they have good drafts. It just seems like they're turning them over, and it's not working. So
well, there you go. But, and they still are amazingly have some good things happening.
Right, there you go. All right, you guys, let's get to the celebration at hand, which I call Spurs are champs the easy way. Now, you guys are going to say, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean, it's exactly what I said, easy way. I have been let down and led astray, and I'm telling you this for a reason. All this overhype about the Spurs revenge, Miami Heat, nobody wants to admit this looked obvious. When I say obvious, it was so easy for me to pick them in 6, they won in 5. When they won in 5, everybody noticed this is not the Miami Heat from last year, except for LeBron. Nobody wanted to say anything else. So San Antonio, just by 2 gifts they got, notice these 2 gifts they got, and I'm going, how's this going to be close? Manu Ginobili loses weight, comes into camp, he's playing better, and he's not injured. Then you take in Kawhi Leonard, who now is a baller because the coach says, now go offense, just not defense. Now add those 2 components to a team that has Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and the role players all stepping up. And they're supposed to lose against the Miami Heat, who's not playing defense as well at all this year, not at that level. It's a surprise they didn't get swept. Now, I'm disappointed because, let me tell you why. What party place would you rather be at after an NBA championship, Mario? San Antonio or South Beach?
They're kind of thick in San Antonio.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
no, wait a minute. And
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was cracking on the San
I
Antonio
know
women.
they've already rebelled against him.
And they said the women in Florida and the women in Texas, to me, are actually of comparable ilk.
Okay, I'm not.
To me,
I'm not. What are you trying to say?
I'm saying the women in Florida and the women in Texas are comparable culturally and lifestyle-wise. That's the South.
Right.
All of them are bigger.
What you trying to say?
So they have bigger people, thicker, or more. They eat more.
They embrace
the pork.
That's
Carnitas.
yes.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying so. I think San Antonio is a smaller market. It's supposed to be more of a quieter place. That's what everybody says.
I'm gonna try it again for those who are actually not getting.
I'm going to Florida. Going to Miami, even though I don't find Miami be all that hot either.
Wait
to
a minute.
me,
South
no
Beach.
offense.
No.
Oh yeah, yes. Well, you better stay in South Beach.
That's all that matters.
Don't wander.
Now, on a serious tip.
How's that? Don't wander.
And I'm not forgetting this, PMC. I got your text.
Miami is not what it appears to be.
No. But you know what? They say the same about L.A. They say with the
LA
over.
Is better.
No. They say the same. They say they raise L.A. so high as what the glamour is, but you only can go to certain parts to get that experience.
You have to have some money, but where else can you go? Where else can you go skiing in the morning?
But it's not in
and
LA.
Be at the beach.
But see, they say LA proper.
You could go. I'm just saying you could drive. We have everything within the distance.
Right.
No, and it's some of the best weather in the entire planet.
Right. But when
I don't know what to tell you about that. That's just a fact.
But see, we understand this too. If you actually say, I'm coming to Miami or South Beach.
That rainy, hot, steamy. First of all, I don't even like the weather in the area, personally. Some people do. I'm not. I don't say go there to vacation.
Well, I'm just saying that I think people, they do the same here. They go,
I find it too hot and sticky.
First of all, the city is bigger than landmass than anywhere else. And then I have to travel 100 miles to go to some place that's the point of reference. Where you're going to think, I'm in L.A., where am I going right now to get what's the
You can
image?
go to Hawaii or you can go to Mexico. That's one thing about L.A.
Right.
It's hard to travel. I think it's a much harder sell to an Angelino to come to Florida beaches. First of all, you got a bunch of people in L.A. going to prefer. They're going to say, well, we got beaches.
Right.
You got a bunch of them going to say that right off the bat.
Right.
We got beaches, and then we don't have Florida people around them.
I'm gonna have you talk to Lil Wayne, because if you hear when he was talking to he was on that program with Stephen A. Smith, and he says, man, what do you like about South Beach, Miami? He says, they're just beautiful. And they both was like somebody had butter running down their mouth.
Well, that's where people with money gather.
They're just beautiful.
Yeah, and with the weather, they're going to tend to look good. So that's going to be somewhere secondary to L.A. Because we got the same shit year-round with way better weather.
I see.
And Beverly Hills, that's what they look like, too.
Right.
L.A. has that, and we have more of a cultural mix. Even though they have a good cultural mix,
right,
we have one of the most absolute
right
cultural mixes. If you want any kind of Latino exist in the world, Asians, we have them, and they look beautiful here.
Right.
So you can choose all the Middle Eastern women that are beautiful. I'm just saying, LA got them. I ain't lying, and I travel. Okay, to me, if you want you go looking for variety, but when I come home, I'm going to where it's best.
Right.
Okay, I'm just saying, I know that when I come home.
Yes, yeah, I
I'm
know.
just saying. Ain't nobody moving from here. Why do you think it costs so much?
Now let me say this.
Somebody ain't leaving.
Now let me say this. PMC, I'm gonna get to your point now because nobody wants to hear LeBron. You know, I call this beat down on LeBron whether he wins or not. Nobody wants to give credit because he's supposed to be, you know, not the next coming, the arriving, the man, supplant Michael Jordan or on par with. So I understand when you say, he says it doesn't matter if we win or lose. I think it was in the context of the question being asked, is how would you be affected?
He never insinuated that it didn't matter.
I
what
know.
they want him to, what everybody with the stupid, because somehow, to me, no offense, sports columnists, reporters are some of the dumbest ones because they ask some of the most stupid questions. And they also ask questions that people obviously shouldn't answer. So a lot of them ask questions that the appropriate response is, that's a stupid question.
But I think
And
they
why
do
would-
it on purpose
They do it on
to
purpose.
set you up.
And it's stupid because it's so obvious that only a jerk would fall for it.
That's why-
So LeBron didn't fall for it. He
That's
basically
where-
told him, I'm not even thinking about
But
that.
that's what Greg Popovich is saying. I'm going to let the stupid questions be
Yeah.
directed the way I handle it.
Right. And totally LeBron did the same thing.
Right.
He said, I'm not even thinking about that.
Now, I'm on.
They kept asking, though.
Right. Now, I'm on L.A. I'm going to take the position that we take the position about the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm going to pretend like I'm a Miami fan living in Miami. Do you want to even hear him even say that on the end of losing an NBA championship the way they did? Which I still say here, when you actually take a team that has broken a record for the largest average point loss per game in NBA Finals history.
You
That's
also set a
terrible.
record for the four
Right.
finals appearances.
Right.
That's a record,
Right,
too.
right, in appearances or tied.
So appearances means somebody got to lose.
Right.
So the person who makes the people, okay, to have the most losses in a playoff, you have to get to the playoffs. So teams that never get to the playoffs,
Right.
they have a very low percentage
Right.
in that because
Right.
they're never in the playoffs.
Right.
So that's why I said some statistics, they're what you want. The other thing is that when you're asked such stupid questions, I ask people, what would have been appropriate response to those questions? Tell me one, because I don't know any appropriate response. When they go, so what are you guys planning for next year? Right
win.
now.
To win.
Right now.
They plan
Give
to
me
win.
So give me the appropriate, because I would just, see, at that point, I would want to insult the person asking the question.
But there are better people who know how to handle the media.
Sure there are, but it doesn't-
And I'm gonna say this: Michael Jordan may have been known as an asshole, but he never let you get him caught short.
I don't think that LeBron actually was caught short. I think he handled it well. I think comparing him to Michael Jordan is kind of a joke because Michael Jordan never said anything.
Right.
So that's not good. That's nothing.
And he was known as a little bit of asshole. So the part
That's what
that
I
I'm
said.
saying,
So that's nothing. He's nobody to emulate. See, to me,
Oh, no.
Michael Jordan is nobody to emulate when
Oh.
it comes to dealing with media.
What about
I'll
Charles
say that
Barkley?
again. Michael Jordan, and that's why you don't see Michael Jordan in the media.
What about
because
Charles
he does a
Barkley?
horrible job.
What about
Whenever
Charles?
he's in the media, he does a horrible job. Charles, for whatever you want to have opinion of him, does a good enough job that he keeps getting paid huge dollars to do this. So whatever opinion we may have of him, it's so popular that
Right.
he gets paid huge dollars
And he gets a pass.
to just do it. So I go like, these are not my rules. This is, like they will say, this is the
Corporate.
power of the
Corporate.
the power of the public, or what people perceive to be the public demand.
Right.
And I go like, I agree with. I just go. I walk away with a different take home from all of those comparisons. Like I
Right.
said, Michael Jordan is nobody to emulate as speaking in terms of speaking to
Oh,
the media.
and
he
let's
did
get
a
it straight.
horrible. He did a horrible.
Let me say this.
Hall of Fame speech,
And let-
didn't he?
Well, look, I said
Horrible.
I'll say this. That's where they say you want expectation to meet the moment. And the one thing I have to say, I will congratulate him for one thing, being now recognized officially as the first sports billionaire. for what he had to go through and what he had to do for an organization. And it's a landmine when you're in a corporate culture that has a lot of expectations. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, applaud you, man, because Forbes just listed you as the first official, because they had Tiger Woods back in the day, but that truck got in the way. Sorry about that. He would have been it. Now, I want you to understand now.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Wait a minute.
I'm just saying. I just say okay.
No, I'm just saying. Now, wait a minute.
I must admit, my enthusiasm for Michael Jordan has been affected by his either lack of involvement in certain things and his other involvement, so that I truly recognize his greatness as a sports figure, and I like to leave it there.
Yeah, same here.
Because that's about
Yeah,
it.
because I don't know. Like I said, I can never confirm who he
Like
is
I
as a
said.
person. I'm just telling you what
That's
they
why
say
I
in
said
media.
that's about it.
I leave that alone because
Sure.
you need sources to be able to quantify or qualify what you're saying. I'm just repeating what they
You can
said.
judge people by
That's
what
it.
they do and what
Right.
they don't do.
That's right.
How about what they don't do?
Right. That's it.
Okay, that's all I can say.
All right.
So everybody has, those are our expectations. Like I said, everybody has different folks on their wall, right?
Right.
Some people, you go to their house and there's a bunch of sports figures on their wall. Since I'm going to take into account your politics and your social activism and all that,
Right.
the folks that get on my wall
Are
probably
not-
ain't not going to be
well,
the ones
no,
on your
no,
wall.
no.
Because a bunch of y'all don't even think of like that. And so
Right.
you're never going to hold your sports figures accountable. You're going to have them up there regardless of their politics. And for me, that would be impossible.
And it's easy to think in terms of grown men and adults, but when you see them rally around,
There you go.
When you see them rally around all those athletes who in the media world, we just like to sit back and do our assessment. When they go visit those kids for better or for worse, it changes everything because the kids only see the shine and the example. So the good part about this is that sometimes we do grow up and being adults can get in the way and you forget that you were a fan back in the day. And I realize that and have to catch myself sometimes. But I got something that's going to be, I'm going to transition. Do you believe the San Antonio Spurs are really the first NBA international world champions, although there is no world league? Think about it, Mario. That
just depends on your hype and money, kind of.
Right.
It?
Well, but all the
It's
players.
like you can buy that, right?
Right.
Okay. It's just like when they release a record and it's $1 billion sales because you go and leverage the people to take X number of sales
Right.
into your store, and you do that worldwide. Then you turn around and say, "Wow, we have the worldwide bestseller."
That's right.
So it's the same kind of thing
It's
to
the
me.
same.
Same kind of stuff to me.
And what
So it's a measure of your marketing team.
And I love the idea that the countries, Australia, Italy, France, Canada, Virgin Islands, Argentina, their champions are these singular players who are on the team representing their country. So they're showing how these people are reacting, almost not to the level of soccer, but I said, the penetration you're getting with these players playing in a role.
Well, that's why it's
so
specifically
big.
not international, though.
Right.
They only do promote for
I know
the most
that.
part. When they really have teams that, even though this is where they want, it's not. As far as I know, the NFL wants it worse than them, but it doesn't seem to work as well. But
No.
as far as I know, this is because the NFL has been working on it for a while,
And it's
longer time than even the
That's
NBA
true.
is just starting to. But I think that the NBA, I think basketball, because of the nature of what's involved,
easier to play.
easier to. You don't need a arena. You don't
No.
need the same.
You don't need it.
You don't need a big old field of grass.
Right.
Even though soccer's there,
Right.
I just think basketball too, because of we talked about this, because of the personas.
Right.
And let's face it, the black influence culturally,
Right.
that all has a way of giving it a certain appeal, which is historic in nature,
Right.
as it goes to marketing the blackness, the
Right.
soul, whatever.
Right.
That's a marketable commodity. It always has been.
Right.
And that's why it's always copied and emulated.
Yeah.
So the NBA does a good job for being a business that is mostly black players run by rich white men,
Right.
and marketed internationally,
Right.
which is also why this Donald Sterling thing
I ain't gonna talk about him. I am not talking about him. He gets no more good time from me. No good. Not that he cares about my time anyway.
He'll get time from me if he can dig up dirt on other teams. I can't wait to hear some of that.
See, Mario's waiting for that.
Because that's what I want. Of course. I want you to come out and call out all the other races. He going, I know the other one's racist, too.
I know you do.
I know you do, Donald. Come and tell.
I see he's
come
waiting.
on.
Laying in wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait.
I know. Will he be successful, though?
He's already been successful.
I mean, in uncovering the other NBA billionaires.
When we first talked about this, I told everybody, I said, Donald Sterling is going to come out of this as a win, and he's going to make money. At the time, I predicted he was going to make $1 billion. Right. Man, was I wrong.
Right.
He made $2 billion.
Right.
So he's pimping everybody. Right now, he's sitting up there laughing.
Right.
And I would be, yeah, you got me out and you paid record money,
right.
$2 billion, and I can still mess with you because I'm the kid.
Right.
He's big pimping. I'm sorry. As far as I can say, you have to sell this as a win,
right?
Because that you have to bring in a PR company now and go, we're going to sell this as a win. And we're going to do it this way.
Right.
Because it's already obvious Donald got his.
Do you think he will be successful in uncovering? Information, specific and confirmable, on behalf of the other
Oh, no, I think he already knows the information. He's just trying to find a way to prove it. In other words, these are people who kicked it around together.
Right.
And he's going right now, dog, I'm turning on you because you turned on me.
That's right.
That's what he's doing. And he says, I sat there while we both did the same shit. I know you. That's what's going down. He's just trying to prove it.
I think it's
it's all about that. This is him, and this is personal between him and people.
Course.
So what you're watching is big boys play with their weenies out.
That's right.
They got all pulling out their weenies and trying to see who's got the big weenie. Okay. So Donald, right now, I probably like I tell people, you have to sell this as him losing.
Right.
He did twice as
better.
Good. He did twice as good as I expected. I never expected $2 billion. I said maybe $1 billion. Right? Maybe.
The value of the Clippers and what they've accomplished this year and the momentum they got around the league. And I'll say this. I'll attribute it to one or two players mostly. Blake Griffin brought showtime to the Clippers. Chris Paul brought a leadership. And then the capper, the big coach, did it even more. And when you have all those elements there, that's an investment-worthy thing to hopefully get behind. It's not the only thing. It's L.A., too.
I want to go on the record as saying the talent on the Clippers has very little to do with this valuation.
I think it has very little. No, I think it's the first of all, I think it's always wrapped around a player of not Kobe, but the merchandising behind one player stimulates an organization's future.
That's what, so to me, all the $2 billion, that has very little to do with Blake Griffin or Doc Rivers. It has to do with the potential marketing value of being able to say that you saved and the ability to spin off books, movies.
Right.
That is worth.
For Ballmer.
Yeah.
If he gets it, if he gets it.
So I want to be clear because I don't think that their valuation, like I said, their valuation to me has little to do with those players. Has almost nothing to do.
I think
with Blake Griffin.
I think it's a little bit of enticement because of how well the organization has turned itself around.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of that wouldn't have got you $1 billion extra.
No, I didn't say that.
This is a media. This is a media grab
that's existed for a while.
Well, I'm just saying, no, not on this level. Before the story that was the media grab for the Clippers was the worst franchise in history.
Right.
Now, because of all the Donald Sterling stuff, specifically the Donald Sterling fiasco has made the value, is specifically directly responsible for the revaluation of the team.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I don't think it has anything to do with the players. The players would have got them to $1 billion in value. No, what got them to $2 billion in value is the specific Donald Sterling fiasco. That man's fiasco actually boosted this franchise's media value.
Absolutely.
To me, it doubled it.
Absolutely.
Tripled it, maybe.
Absolutely.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the dynamics of it, I didn't say it's totally responsible. I said it also was a flashpoint. It's like Clippers right now. Everybody knows if you didn't have the players on the team, it's still profitable. They had worth on this team That's over $500 million when none of the players are on the team. None. Zero.
See, the issue, the problem with those things to me is that those things are only of value to people interested in sports.
Right.
Now the Clippers' value is the reason why it's doubled, tripled, or quadrupled. Again, has nothing to do with that. What the Clippers' change in value has to do with the fact of how recognizable their name is to people who have absolutely no interest in sports.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's where,
and they're capitalizing.
Totally, and that's where they become known as a franchise.
Right.
And that's where the value. And people just don't really want to admit it, but it has to do with the same old dirt. I can tell you another way to make your franchise valuable: have one of your team members kill somebody. Or himself.
Right.
Even though people say that's terrible as it sounds, go look at the data.
Right.
It'll quadruple your sales.
Right. It's New England's going through it with a former team member.
Totally.
And college and Baylor basketball, they had someone kill one of the teammates in there.
I hate to say it.
I know this team was stimulated by those efforts in ways that the average person can understand.
Today's media we're talking media. What's going to get you a contract? What's going to get you a show where they're following your players?
Absolutely. That's why I said it's almost like flashpoints are coming together at a time, but business is business no matter what. And I've always had the question, why would an owner stay in business when they have a continuing perennial losing team? That means it's profit from that. It's always been profit, and it hasn't been because of the players. But the market value does go up in some ways depending on certain circumstances. So I agree with you, Mario. Absolutely.
Remember, this is a valuation that people did not expect, and so
Right. All right, you guys, we're going to go to what I call Spurs and Heat players. What say you? We're going to hit the picture, and all you're going to think of next year, what say you? Whatever it is, you're just going to say, okay, what say you? Because the first person on board is a person that everybody's concerned about, D. Wade. 2015, better player, worse player, same place, Mario. What say you?
Better.
Injuries, no injuries.
Oh, I think after time and rehabilitation, with his usually work ethic, you could take one or two approaches. It's a flip of the coin. I tend to look at him in the positive mainly because of his work ethic.
Right.
So therefore, given time, and the time to rehab, and also the fact that I think that the team will make allowances for these kinds of factors. I think it'll be better. I think it'll be better.
Okay, let's go to the next player. I say he's not the same. The legs are giving out, but he will be a smarter player, but not the athletic player we're used to. But he'll stay in the same place. Tim Duncan, what say you?
Same.
Not moving, not going anywhere. Going to stay here for another run.
He could, because let's put it like this: it's harder when you're around a nucleus that has that potential. There's a number of them that are toward that end point. It's just a potential, and because they seem to enjoy it more than many. In other words, they bought into the hustling,
right,
the conditioning,
right,
the whole defensive things. So they bought into it more. It doesn't represent the same as I think with some other players. So he has every incentive to stay, other than money. But they make enough money. He'll make enough money again off the endorsements to make up for his low contract in the small market. So I think he stays. The team looks too solid to not do another year.
Yeah, I agree with you. He stays. They'll have a different motivation. The war is going to come through the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference has to step up again. But, like I said, there's dynamics there that we don't see. So he stays put. He's doing exactly what you said. Let's go to the next. Ray Allen, what say you?
I think he stays. Let me give you this. I think Ray is still able to contribute. When I look at this season he had, I actually think he did a pretty good job of contributing. Remember the kind of role you want him to play. Certainly to have that quality of an outside shooter available in clutch times to me.
Yeah.
And he even did more to me this year because he upped his defensive game in some ways. He was hustling. So, no, Vic, I appreciate his aging, but I think he, especially on Miami, again, a team that seems to know how to use him.
Right.
I think he stays. He's the same.
This is difficult because he faded away He faded away in this particular championship, and they pay you and put you in these positions to be clutch, not to have off nights. He had an off time. Everybody knows this team is leg slow. I think it's going to be hard unless he accepts less money. So I'm not sure, but I'm a lean towards he's not going to be there. I just think it's
Well, if
hard.
he's not there, either I don't know. Well, let's play this. Depending on where he'll get somewhere, because he still it's too solid.
Right.
It's just still too solid.
True.
Compared to what else is out there.
Okay, let's go to the next one. I just call him Kawhi Big Ass Hands Leonard. This man, will he be even better? What say you? next
Yeah,
year?
I think he's continuing to grow.
Right.
I don't think he's maxed out. He's been doing like what Kevin Durant was doing. So he's kind of redefining things constantly.
Right.
And to hear Popovich say that they run no plays for him.
Right.
That means he has to go get all his own.
Right.
So they're hearing that, we were like, wow. That means when you start running plays for him, it's going to be different. And you got to give it to anybody with enough guts to play LeBron head up like that.
Oh.
That's you got to give it to him.
No, man.
Got to give it to him, and
Gun
no
hope.
mouth. See when you play in excellence, you have to focus.
Right.
Usually, mouth doesn't help you focus.
No.
So to me,
He's humble.
He's focused,
and he
on
has
it.
a deep respect for Greg Popovich. I mean, a deep, profound. He said, I mean, you hear him saying, "Thank you for trusting me." Basically, to be in the game. I said, not only did you trust, but you exceeded even Popovich. I don't think Popovich could say you're going to be the MVP. So he's done. Right now, it's all icing on the cake for him.
Yeah, he's going to get it. You know, we are looking at the end of the career for some of our people.
Yeah.
Wade is one of them. You know,
Yeah.
I know, but the question is 1 or 2 more years. I think that's the question. I think that's the same question for Ray Allen.
Right.
Even though they have the luxury, remember, of where they are, it works kinda.
Yep.
You have to think about they certainly have a nucleus, don't they?
The less money,
Okay.
the less money situation now comes into play, and everybody's going, "Are you going to take less money this year too?" I see a lot of people going, "No more, less money." Are we going
Well,
up with the same nucleus? That's the hard part.
What's interesting is, since you bring that up, is when you apply that same question to the other teams, that's where they look bad.
Right.
Like when you look at, say, Brooklyn.
Right.
There's a bunch of other teams where they're looking at their money. You're looking at their money and saying, unfortunately, you guys are stuck.
Right.
The Knicks.
Right.
What are they going to do about Amari Stoudemire?
True.
So,
Absolutely.
okay, so I don't know what to say about some of these people. You're stuck.
You're stuck. Absolutely. All right, let's go to the next one. This is the man now. He don't have the legs like he used to, I guess. Chris Anderson.
Oh, but I thought he looked great. He stays. And
He
he
stays?
blocked. Did you see how many? Okay,
I
first of
know.
all, it's whose shot he blocked.
Right.
Okay, I saw him get Parker a couple of great times.
Right.
Chris, you are wonderful in that position. You're going to be in the league for I predict he could do another 3 years.
Okay. All right.
Maybe 4, Vic. He also stays in shape. Dude, I thought he looked good. I mean, there's things they didn't pull off, but he looked good. He hustled.
What he does is exactly what you said, Mario. He hustles. But when you go look at where he came from, what he did, you forget he's now a body up person. This was the flying swatting man, and he's not that anymore, but he plays smarter. So the issue is that he doesn't have the leg speed, but he plays smarter, and he's not a traditional center, because where he came from, he was really kind of like, I'm the leaping, I can block shots, but I'm not a true defensive center or offensive center. So now you give up. His position is kind of like no points, some defense. Can we do better? And that's what he makes me ask myself. That's just me.
I like the impact that he has. In a lot of ways, I look at the same role, say, on the Clippers that Big Baby plays. Okay, there's a role for him on a bunch of teams. And I like, and there's nothing about the performance that I saw in this year or in the postseason that has changed my mind.
Right.
I'm still kind of sold on him. I like him. I like having him on my team.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't changed.
He stayed.
No. Another thing is that I bet you're getting him cheap.
That everybody's question is that the money is because all of them have kind of agreed.
Hey, I'd have to go look and see what the money is.
They said this is where it's going to be hard because they said everybody's already taking less money, and now the contract ops are coming to play. So what players are going to stay, and then you still got to improve your team. And the other thing, guess who's favored to take the championship?
I bet you, Vic, that when you look at it, that they still, because you're in the playoffs to that extent, you still make more money.
Yeah, and
you get endorsements. So there's no question.
Vegas have the Heat favored for next year's winning the title.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said, to me, I'm never a panic person. And I used to be amazed by people that would want to wholesale rebuild a team, especially when they just lost the series in the club. I said, boy, they're 30 seconds away, and you would rebuild.
Right.
They're 30 seconds. I said, this is a team, the Miami Heat is a team that's been in the finals 4 straight times.
Right.
I see no reason to panic.
Right.
I see no reason to change. This is not a big-time surgery. This is a neat surgical precision thing.
Right.
And that's all you're going to do.
And this is the obvious one. The next player, because it's really unique now. Oh, I'll just say his name because I don't have the picture, but you guys already know who it is. Does LeBron opt out and says, no, stay. You guys take less money. We can do this. Same team, because so far we think most of the players are going to stay. Nobody's really changing of significance. What do you think?
No, I think totally. I think this is his world. So it's his building, his making. It's everything that he wants. There's no incentive to leave.
No,
based on what?
Absolutely not.
I don't see any incentive. This is his world. They pick. I think, first of all, people underestimate the value of working with the people that you like working with.
Right.
I think people really underestimate the value of this. And they know that how close they were in issues. And for them, I can't even say, like I said, it's more like a surgical thing. They just need to perform better. That's what most of my issues with them in the series, I don't have the same opinions like some people. Oh, they showed all this age, and I just think they need to play better. There's no question in my mind that they can step it up. They have done it before. They just weren't able to do it here, and part of that had to do with the high quality of the discipline of the other team, which I don't underestimate at all. So I don't feel any of the doom and gloom Miami stuff at all.
I feel that they have peaked in areas that are already got one player who's going to retire. He already said he's going to retire, and he was your defensive stalwart last year. Fair skin, comes in off the bench. I cannot remember
Not
his name.
Haslam.
No. When he came from former Duke player of the year.
Oh, Juwan Howard?
No, not him. When I show you his picture, you guys, y'all laughing at me when I sit there and say it. He always plays. He would play tough against Kobe. He's a smaller power, not a power forward, small forward. He comes in off the bench. You'll know when
Mario.
No, Mario. I'll add this to you. When you see the picture, you're going to go, oh, I'm just drawing a blank on this name.
You know, well, my thing is, like I said, do you notice that they're picked to be? That's why I said I have no stress as a. I think the Heat is going to be right back there as the team to beat.
Right. I'm measuring them
in the East. Period.
Yeah, I still favor them coming out. What I'm saying is that they're going to do something in the offseason. That's my belief. So I believe the core is going to stay there. But if they don't do anything, Chalmers disappearing, not good, and it looked bad. Ray Allen didn't look good, and he's getting older. Chris Anderson, not offense as much.
And none of them, I don't think none of them look bad, though, Vic. I mean, to me, people are going, they just lost a series where they got beat by 15 points. That's not going to make my opinion of any of those players for the whole season. So I don't think Ray Allen looked bad. I thought in this season, he was productive. He also upped the defensive level, so the whole team had a bad series.
Right, I'm saying that means everybody could have done better, and they didn't.
Totally.
So now it's on the coach.
Well, no,
who's it on?
The coach is
somebody you got to put responsibility to.
Yeah, but else you could just say maybe you just lost. I don't understand. I mean, you could put responsibility to do what? Right. You could put responsibility on ownership, the guy who cuts the lawn. I mean, I'm just saying to do what?
Because
there's nothing that needs to change. You just lost to a better team. And maybe you just come back again the next year.
They're going to say you can lose, but if you set an NBA record for how bad you lost, something has to change.
Oh, I don't say that at all. I say you could ignore all that because you could also say, I choose to focus on the fact that we're in the finals 4 times in a row, and that's a record.
Okay. Notice,
It's like, what record do you want to concentrate on more?
Right.
The fact that you lost in the finals terribly, or the fact that you were in the finals and set a record for 4 times, and they're expecting you in the finals of next year.
I agree, and I'm saying all I'm saying is you're assessing. Remember, Miami's older than the San Antonio Spurs, so age plays a role in ball. No matter how much age comes into play, no matter how much we sit there and say, can we invest 2 or 3 more years? Because these players are going to go for 3-4 year contracts. They don't want to do a 1-year contract. So when the money's on the table, that's what I'm looking at. Not that they can't perform. I think is when they get to the table and say, money, I think I deserve this because I've been here 4 years. He said, but you lost this year. So I believe it's the money that makes the decision. I think they're all worthy. I just think the problem is going to be is the money this year.
I think that the money does make the decision, even though I don't think that I bet you Pat Riley's position is very similar to mine. They just made this finals for the 4th time in a row.
Right.
It needs some surgical adjustments.
Right.
And then you come back with the exact same team. And I think that the proof of the pudding is the fact that they're ranked already. They just got, even though you, as much as you want to point out how bad they lost, that they're still rated as the number 1.
Right. I'm making a strategic move based on what I see. You're actually saying I'm holding court with the same players.
I'm saying sometimes, and I can cite another example. That's exactly what the San Antonio Spurs did.
Right.
That's exactly what. At the end of last year, you had the same kind of discussion. And what did they really do? They just came back and worked harder.
Right.
That's all you do sometimes, and then you win.
And the money wasn't an issue on the table for them like it is Miami this year, so they didn't have to deal with that. This is the part that's happening with Miami this year that San Antonio didn't have last year.
I just don't believe that the money really is an issue. I think that the press is saying that the money is an issue. I think that the players have already agreed, because that's how they came. Okay, let's put it like this. At least they are unprecedented in their abilities to come together as individuals and make an agreement. I don't know all the other stuff. All I can say is if any group of players, because they are the players in all of basketball history, are unprecedented in their abilities to come together and make an agreement. So I can say that's enough in their favor. If they can't do it with that, then maybe nobody can. That's certainly enough in their favor.
That's why I said they have the talent. But now the opt-out contracts are on the table, not like 2 or 3 years ago.
I think when you made it to the finals and you can come back again, I think when you, especially with a nucleus like that, I think that it's a big incentive for people to return, for them to take and do the thing, because I think they look at it the exact same way San Antonio looked this year. They have every reason to return. They're highly rated. There's not, even with all the criticisms, every single player that is criticized, everybody says they should keep and move forward.
Right.
So and I say that too.
Yeah.
And I bet you they'll at least, boy, imagine this. At their worst, they'll be in the finals anyway.
And I'll say this, exiting this, if the East had any contenders to deal with Miami this year, everybody said, easy walk for you guys. And the easy walk resulted in you getting blown out terribly. So they had an easier path. Everybody admitted it and said, you really didn't have to work hard and play under what you did.
Even though the West really only has like 2 contenders.
Oh, no. Parity.
3.
No, they're saying...
without parity. I'm just saying,
parity.
When you look at the West, out of all the teams that are quote-unquote contenders, there's only 2 of those that are really contenders.
They had Houston. They had Portland.
I'm not counting Houston.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. We have a different philosophy.
To me, I could put at least teams that I could compare in the East that I think are comparable to Houston. Or to Portland. That's all I'm saying.
Or Dallas.
I basically have gold. I'm basically at the Clippers.
Now, remember you're talking about under 500 teams in the East who made it to the playoffs.
But I'm not. I'm saying when you actually look, they just have some better people on this level, but when you actually look at the potential champions, the West isn't overloaded with those.
No,
because I don't count OKC in there.
No, I would say this: if I was playing against a Charlotte Bobcats that plays 10 games under 500 as a first rounder for Miami, you should sweep them as they done. That's it. But everybody says should a under 500 team be even in the playoffs?
Well, that just has to do with the way the NBA. But I could also go like the Memphis Grizzlies, where they, as much as I like them, where they they really a contender?
No, I didn't.
Or was Portland?
No. No.
Just to me, I go
No.
like, so yeah, the talent is better on the West on a level that doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
Because they're not.
It's just the road.
Right. It's because they're not
Just
the
the
one.
road.
When you get to the higher echelon, now you're talking about Heat versus
Spurs.
Spurs, and hopefully somewhere the Clippers. That's why I
And-
said it still comes
Right.
down to neither division has four real
Right.
contenders to me.
Right. In Indiana wasn't even considered, and they're number 2.
No, and I don't consider and I'm an OKC fan and refuse to consider him because I have no belief that they can
Right.
beat.
Right.
That I just don't. I like them and
They're
root for
missing.
them.
They're missing. Harden, we both agree. Shouldn't have
There's something.
should never got rid of him.
something.
They're
And I
missing.
still don't understand why the Clippers. I still must admit, I'm still back in shock over the Clippers losing to OKC.
Which
sorry.
was the best.
That was the biggest upset wrench in my
Wait a minute.
thinking.
Was that the best series, period, through the playoffs?
Probably was, huh?
Yes. I'll watch that over and over
Biggest
again.
wrench in my predictions was that game.
Yes.
I still can't believe
I
that
agree.
somehow that the Clippers lost to OKC. And I'm an OKC fan. Jeez.
Everybody can't get over it, man. A great story. All right, let me get out of here because we can keep going on.
Much love to San Antonio
Hey.
for pulling off what people said was impossible. Once again, we have to say, come on, Vic. Hey, you have to. Nobody, nobody.
I picked them in 6.
In the beginning of the season, you know how we all thought. We all thought it was going to be.
Yeah. OKC looked good. No, I'm gonna tell you who they all really thought when Dwight Howard went to Houston. What did they do? What did they say?
You know, the only reason I said that, and I would have too, except, to me, I am a believer, as much as I like Dwight.
Right.
He does not have the killer instinct. He has never shown it.
Right.
And he cannot be he has to be part of a team where somebody else is carrying it.
We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I can't give you the lead in on it yet, though. It's a different one. Let me get out of here, man. Sports, I love it. I love it. I'm going to see the Kings.
Oh! Hit your head against the wall. Gotta love it. I'm a Miami Heat fan, but I'm a San Antonio fan too. I said it.
Oh, bandwagon.
I can't. I was rooting more for San Antonio, but only because of the 2 victories. That's the only reason.
Really?
So I'm happy. I'm happy for all of them. And I hope OKC does something in the offseason. I can't see it happening.
No.
I think we're coming back with the same exact teams almost. I think really. No, the biggest wonder is the biggest wonder is Carmelo Anthony.
And